Hey guys, as usual, I've been pretty deep into some GPT stuff today. Let me just check my mic settings are good here. Using StreamYard. So let's start. Yeah, the first one is Sauna GPT. Sauna GPT is incredible. Basically, I go in my sauna and I do alternate with my cold plunge on a daily basis, and just sitting there. I do meditate sometimes, although my best meditation session is done in my jacuzzi at night. So it's like, okay, I'm just like in there alone in my own head. So I don't have any company. So I had a nice talk with GPT today. It's a nice little A/B test, and nothing innovative here, guys. Just like testing what's out there and getting habits into you. I'm happy with that one because I think I can take it to a very long distance. For example, today was not the best day. I wasn't super energized. I went motocrossing. I had a flat. I had to come back like at 20 kilometers an hour. The, the tire going like that. So it wasn't like the best part of my day. And then I was like, how can I switch flip the switch here? How can I get energized right now and get on track? Okay, I'm going to execute on this idea of starting a convo with ChatGPT, and it's not any type of convo, right? I think I called GPT on the 2025 goals one, so it really keeps me focused on my goals, and it knows how to talk to me, it knows how to coach me. It's better than probably 95% of coaches out there. Um, and yeah, it was successful. I had to prompt it a couple of times to be like, hey, 40 sentences. It was just for like a minute and it was too long. The goal is for my brain to learn, for my brain to get focused on what's next. If I get out of this, I know what should I do. And that was pretty fun. I got refocused, got out of the sauna at like 4:30 p.m. in the afternoon and I got shit done. So I picked up my day, right? A sad poopy pants day, oh, everything is going bad. I went from bad to good, thanks to GPT. And that is just one user case, right? Like the next one that I've been thinking out on is competitor GPT. This one I'll make it available to my clients, but I've been really trying to hack performance, productivity, and goal setting this year because it's been cool what I've accomplished in the 5 to 7 years as an entrepreneur. It really comes to one, but nothing super drastic, right? I had $1 billion goals by 30, I'm 31 now, I'm nowhere near being a billionaire. And if you want me to deconstruct that goal, the why, and everything, get every video that I make about this. The point is, I think goal setting is broken, big productivity is broken, and trying to rebuild it through better GPT is one of the multiple branches that will contribute to that macro goal. Better GPT is basically a GPT that puts your competitor in your face on a daily basis. It's like this number one guy in your niche is doing that today. He's acquiring 3 to 6 clients today, publishing this. I think entrepreneurship would fundamentally change if it would be treated as a professional sport, meaning that if I'm Kobe Bryant or yeah, Kobe Bryant's then not the best example, but if I'm Steph Curry, right, and I'm competing against another team today, I will have the direct outcome of the game. Am I winning? Am I losing? I have like direct access to how my competitors are performing. Business is not like that. You cannot go in your competitor's business and spy and see what they do on a daily basis. So I built the GPT for that. Obviously, it's not 100% reflective of the reality, but it's like your competitors doing this, you should do that to catch up to them. I think that is genius. I think that allows you to compete at a professional level, right? Like if you were playing in the national leagues. My case is like Alex Hormozy is doing this. Alex Hormozy is doing like elevated design. This is probably the best, arguably in so many business issues. Certainly content on YouTube, for example, and that will be moved by us to accomplish these goals. So I gave this comparative GPT to my clients. If you want to use it, you let me know in the comments. But that's been one way I've been creating urgency to get shit done. I also talked about Hater GPT in another video, like what the hater would say. So that really motivates me personally. If you want access to that one, let me know. The hypermode strategy, I'll talk about that one another time. And scaling, always breaking is an interesting concept. That anytime you try to scale something, right, and add volume to something, it will break. And you will need to build tracking style systems so that they can function again. An example is my cold email with a bot. I one day started buying 100 mailboxes and it broke. I had to switch instantly so that I can continue scaling my lead gen. Another one is today, LinkedIn. I published content as of on LinkedIn. And what did they do? They banned me. So I need to pick up my account today or tomorrow. They're pretty slow actually. So anytime you try to scale something, expect that it will by nature. If you fix it, then from 1,000 to 10,000 leads, you may top up at 10,000. It will break. You'll need to fix it with a new system so that you can scale from 10,000 to 100,000 leads. I wrote a post today also on how people are tough to read. How it's never been that hard in the business history, in the business landscape, to get a hold of people, their attention, right? You're competing with Alex Hormozy. This guy has your full attention pretty much all the time. This guy is an execution machine, right? So the question is, what are you doing to catch people's attention? I've been certainly going out of my way as of late to get people's attention. This live being an example. Who would have thought that I would be doing these lives, talking to people, sharing my screen. Am I even sharing my screen? Yes, I am. And yeah, like you're in the attention age, you need to potentially sacrifice some of your values to get the attention of people nowadays. You need to go with headlines, but in my case, I've always been contrarian. I've always been someone that I don't like controversy, but I like being right when mainstream thinks that I'm wrong, or when mainstream thinks that something is right, I'm like, no, it's false, this is wrong. And as long as you have science and facts to back your thesis, and you have a very refined decision-making algorithm like I do, very educated, more than 99.9% of folks out there, for many reasons I could get into, you should be able to make these bets and being contrarian and be like, 99% of people are doing this wrong in your post. Get their attention and then justify the why. You'll get people's attention, you'll get comments, right? Because people love to argue, especially at my level, CEOs and founders on LinkedIn. Um, yeah, and any humans actually, it's like, but I just don't speak to these NPCs on YouTube writing like stupid stuff. On LinkedIn, if you want to get people's attention and their reaction, you need to be contrarian. Not controversial, but contrarian. The next one is GPTizing execution. What that means, I know that GPT deployed GPT tasks not so long ago, but I'm using GPT as a to-do list. I'm not using to-do list. Back in the days, if you see my tabs here, I used to have this Google Docs here called Charles D. It was a Google Docs, and I wrote my to-dos in there as a checklist. Right? I don't do that anymore. I have an urgency GPT, ROI GPT, priority GPT, and a calendar. A calendar with like everything that I'm supposed to do today. It's like space time, right? have this to do done, then I click here, I add this. I'm even thinking to let go of that. Obviously, I won't because I have like these podcasts, right, and these meetings all the time with people, but I'm like right now, for example, I don't have meetings today. Like Saturday and Sunday's blocked. I've also got my Fridays to go into work, quote unquote. But when I know that my time is blocked and my time is free, odds are I wouldn't be looking at this calendar. I would be looking at the GPT here. I would be asking it, hey, what are my priorities today? What should I do? It's 6 p.m. now. What should I be focused on? Should I be closing down? Should I be summarizing my day, right? Productivity has drastically changed. So I think people should probably use a GPT instead of a to-do app. GPT remembers everything, right? As a CRM function. Well, GPT is creative, it knows you from all the stats, and it will track with you. A to-do list is so friggin' boring. A to-do list is stale, it doesn't move. It's like, oh, you should do this. Like me, when my brain looks at a to-do list nowadays, and as a high achiever that keeps on imposing more and more on himself, I'm bored. I'm bored when I click this to-do list. I'm like, I don't want to actually do these things. Plus, some of these things have been there for 15 days. And as soon as my brain catches a glimpse of these things, it's like, oh, God, this is not what I'm going to do any of that. Right? It's blocked. So what you need is not a stale to-do list that doesn't move, not mobile, right? You need a GPT to be like, hey GPT, I've been stuck 15 days doing that. How can you help? Like, and or GPT will know it. You know, like if you prompt it the right way as a productivity coach, it'll be like, yeah, you haven't done that in 15 days because it's not well structured, because it's too complex. You should start with this immediately, right? This very easy actionable step. So understanding human psychology, productivity, and how humans get shit done, I'm not using normal to-do list anymore, which is pretty game changing. Very, very game changing, actually. Um, I'll stick to, yeah, these two last ones here. Yeah, I briefly did a post about bootstrapped agencies and employee heavy models. I mean, this is nothing new, but it just resurfaced into my mind. And this is not only for marketing agencies, but this is for any consultants, right? And obviously, you should be playing in the online realm. I never believed in physical business, so scalability, your efficiency, right? But I mean, if you're an agency, you're probably in the right place. Just that you're probably hiring a bunch of people. And when you do the math, when you do the calculus, right, like how much time you invest in an agency, how much you're making, like many agencies, there's so low margins because all their margins they go in employees. They make like, yeah, as a agency owner, I certainly remember making 60K after I paid my whole team and 70, like very low amount, very low amount. And I didn't even get an exit. I mean, I made more over the years and I quickly made the decision to fire all my staff and make shitloads of it. But most people, one, they are super stressed agency owners. All their profits goes in their team. And if they get like the 2 to 3% chance of getting a decent exit of like a million, let's say, over the years, if you do the math, they would make more and stress less being employed at Goldman Sachs. You know? Or just having a fancy 150K job with you know, I don't know, fucking data analyst, a CTO, right? So this was just a consumers think think about what you're into, right? And we all get sold the dream, right? But in the end, when you do the math, it's not worth it. Let's also face it and be honest here. If you're an agency owner, you're not changing the world. You're just doing marketing, right? You could be working on meaningful stuff, advancing AI for humanity, working on longevity, improving people's mental health. Like you're not doing something meaningful. So just like be conscious, have this conversation with you, go into deep introspection, do the math, and yeah, potentially have some insights that you're not in the right place, right? Very few of us will make over 7 figures a year running an agency of profits. The last one is kind of cheesy, but it's true. People are like one GPT away from changing their lives. I've seen a lot of people talk shit about GPT, but very few deeply test ChatGPT on a daily basis. I've been one of these power users since the last 4 years, and it's just been groundbreaking what it has done for me, not only in my business life, but in my personal life. Just becoming a better human being, prompting the chat in some specific way. It also requires that you be very self-conscious, right? Like if you know that, I don't know, you're not good at relationship, you should prompt your GPT so that it coaches you to be better that way, right? I guess that's probably the missing factor for most. But if you give these technologies a chance and you don't just surface level test them, it can change your life. I've been talking to a lot of CEOs and founders as of late about DeepSeek and people overpraising, overhyping DeepSeek and talking shit on ChatGPT and OpenAI and some of them. They're so out of the equation. Like I asked most of these CEOs and founders, and they haven't even tested DeepSeek, right? Like they're talking about it, but they haven't tested the actual software. Um, give it a shot. Try testing these apps. Give it a bunch of A/B tests, right? Be curious, not just with these GPTs and LLMs, but like all kinds of software, and mostly AI ones. For example, today I tested two video software. I tested HeyGen and I tested Flicky to build videos. And yeah, the last topic here is like my AI avatar. So that is AI troll, and that is not like a real me. So they took like my face. It's as awkward as me, right? Looking all kinds of direction and with these awkward hairs, but with an American accent. That was quite impressive. I was like, yeah, maybe I should have a better English, practice my English in some shape or form. But that I will scale. This I will use as a front. I haven't checked if IO has gone better with that, but back in my days they were charging like $500 per AI avatar, which was dumb because again does it for free, but maybe they've gone better at that. Um, I'll A/B test them. And Flicky, it made this short video. I just fed it like one of my content GPT posts, content GPT, content engine, which is like all kinds of LinkedIn posts. For example, this one here, how I use GPT in my sauna, and it made a full video about it, which was pretty good. It had B-rolls and all of that. So the point, guys, is to constantly test out these new software. See what works, you know? And at some point, you're not only going to use these software, monetize them, you can refer them for affiliate money, which is, in my opinion, the most realist form of passive income. I've talked about that extensively yesterday in my video. But also, you will realize that one big AI moat, and I'm going to finish on that because it's getting pretty long here. One big AI moat is connecting all these apps together through apps like Zapier, through apps like Make, and eventually you have these AI ecosystems, and then you can sell that as an AI consultant to your clients, right? And that is huge right there. You'll eventually He pays a lot of money, and that money you can invest it in other moonshots. Okay, other moonshots, including developing your own LLM. I have a moonshot GPT here. I wrote it. Yeah, connecting LLMs together, deploying autonomous agents bullshit for me is the hypermode. So having your own army of AI agents, AI bots to build shit for you, that is stuff right there. I'll leave you with that. That's a moonshot, but I think that's where the big money is. What do you guys think? Do you have any ideas? Are you an active mind? Hi, comment. Like, like, I'll see you guys later. If you have any questions, just reach out to me. Talk to me.